Today's topic is disruptive marketing, no best practices. So my name is Dean Ara. I am the principal of TPM, and one obligatory slide about me. This is one and done. We are a strategy lead gen agency for the channel and MSPs. I guess we have a couple clients here at this show. Intelisys, you may have heard of them. We do a lot of their digital advertising and some other things for them, web design, web maintenance. And Link Source is a client here. They're from Sacramento. They're an MSP as well. Anyways, enough about me. So moving on. So what's the challenge? Being familiar with the cloud, the channel, and all you MSPs and sales partners and channel partners, I hear four big challenges these days. And the first one is, people don't answer the phone as they used to. Cold calling is tough, right? Number two, the average C-level executive, the CIOs that you want to get a hold of, they're getting 200 emails a day, and delete, 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 delete. Number three, your prospects rely less and less on you. So I'm assuming most of you here are channel partners, sales partners, sub-agents. All those things are the same to me. And that the trouble is, the challenge is that your prospects now are doing most of their knowledge and training and education online. So in the past, in the 90s and 2000s, when all those commercials were on, who remembers those Oracle commercials? Hey, I'm the sales guy. Nobody? I guess I'm just dating myself a little bit here. So back in the day, Oracle, funny series of commercials about the sales guy who's there to help you buy software and stuff. But those days are gone because now your prospects don't need you. Don't need salespeople until the very end. They do all the research up front, and then at the end, where they're near the last part of the funnel, that's when they give you a call and reach out to you. The fourth challenge is, for most channel partners, sub-agents, MSPs, IT resellers, and so on, it's hard to differentiate your services on initial glance. You resell stuff, you may add layer on some services and value-added services and so on. You might help with migrations and assessments and so on, but you largely sound the same. And don't get me wrong, I'm in the same boat. Digital marketing agencies all sound the same too, right? So I'm just as guilty. But so initially, differentiation is very, very tough. And, you say, customer service, superior customer service, and we fight for our customers. We are customers' advocates. Of course, trust us, give us a chance, right? I hear it all the time, and I have no doubt you are great at customer service, and no doubt that you do fight for your customers. But how do you get the chance to prove that, right? Oh, give us a chance. Well, no, I'm not going to give you a chance, right? So that's the challenge. That's the challenge. So what have you done so far in digital marketing? You've built a website, of course, and we'll get into that. You offer a free assessment. Offer a free audit of your telecom expenses. That'll get them for sure. You pounded a few blogs. I've heard blogging's good. Let's blog and they'll come. Write it and they'll come. And so on and so forth. Let's do some email marketing campaigns through MailChimp. It doesn't always work. Delete, delete, delete. Social media is a challenge. Oh, and look, I got this email from this offshore company offering $99 for us, or to get us up number one for telecom and cloud. Yes, let's try that, right? So all these things are potential solutions, I suppose. But the issue is, one by one, I'll knock them off. So for most MSPs and sales partners, from what I've seen, if you're a 2-person to 10-person shop, you're probably getting about 200 to 300 visits a month. That's what I've seen from my customers, my prospects and such. And in B2B technology sales, we use a benchmark of 1% as a really, really good conversion rate. People that come to your site and decide to reach out to you. 1% is very good. Typically, it's like 0.1%. So if you do the math here, if you're getting 200 visits a month, you're probably getting 0.2 conversions. It's not going to do the job. The free assessment doesn't work because everybody offers it, first of all. So you value it more than your clients do, your prospects do. And typically in marketing, we say that your prospects need between 7 and 10 touch points, about 8 touch points with your brand, with your content, with you in social, and so on and so forth, before they'll reach out to you. So it's great that you have a free assessment there, but if that's the first touch point with them, they ain't gonna fill that form out. Blogs, I have no doubt your blogs, if you are blogging, they're of high quality, but as I'll get to in a moment, everybody's blogging. So, most of the blogs I've seen from our, clients and prospects are not optimized. They're sometimes boring and such, so it's tough getting traction. Emails, click, delete. I get those as well. Social, Facebook is a pay-to-play. What that means is that organic posts get almost zero visibility. Twitter's a fire hose. LinkedIn is what we call the boardroom social platform, meaning it's one-to-one. It's where people want to meet other like people and don't want to be sold to necessarily. Great for one-to-one relationship building, but as a platform, we haven't had success with it at all. Maybe you have, we haven't for any of our prospects as a scalable marketing platform. And of course, SEO, there's no shortcuts in terms of getting your site ranked and such. So, for example, let's just say that, actually, the thing is, the irony is that digital marketing itself is actually getting easier. There's more and more tools. There's more and more known methods and processes, but the results are harder. It's harder to get found. Expectations of your buyers are higher. They have low patience. They want answers immediately. They want to know immediately, and they're not going to give you a call to find out. If they don't find it on your site, they're going to find it somewhere else. So a whole deluge of information. Hashtag things are getting more and more saturated, whatever it is, blogging, content marketing, SEO, social, it's more, it's getting more and more saturated, which means it's hard to get people to sign on the line that is dotted. So let's just do a little exercise here. So let's just say that you decide to create a page or make your site optimize on the key term UCaaS solution provider. Well, that's great. You and 199,000 other pages out there to compete. Well, okay, maybe then we'll just do a special around SD-WAN implementation. We'll share our process. We'll share our whiteboarding process. And we'll turn it into a video and infographic and such. Well, great. You and 502,000 other pages are competing for that term. Telecom expense management services. We're going to offer that today, and we're going to compete with the other 3.24 million pages out there. Maybe not. How about cloud? We're all getting the cloud. Cloud's a big topic these days, 4.8 million. However, there is light at the end of the tunnel. If you use a large C, only 3.9 million. So there's my takeaway for today. Go with the large C cloud, and only you shave off 1 million results to compete against. So what do you do? What do you do, right? Digital marketing is tough. It's tough. So I call it the D2B drudgery. Even if you're doing everything right, it's hard to get noticed and hard to get excited. So what now? You still have to do this stuff. You still have to do your fundamental, marketing digitally. Google's still not going to go away. You just have to do it with more pizzazz. And saturated channels, and which many of them are today, require creativity. And that's the topic for today's discussion. So the solution, I just say it's disruptive marketing. It's turning people's heads. It's getting attention. It's showing creativity with your brand and disrupting. And the key is disrupting the boring deluge of B2B content out there. That's what it is. It's getting into your. I'm assuming CIO is IT director. That's your primary buyer. I'm assuming maybe it's a CEO. They're getting tons and tons of stuff sent at them. So how do you stand out? There's really no best practices here. So let me get into 4 examples. There is some case studies here, and there's some theory here, but hopefully you can take advantage of this. So the first one, pop culture. Take advantage of pop culture. We had a challenge. This is a mini case study. One of our clients had a cold list of 232 names, straight from LinkedIn. I don't ask how they got them. I think it was an intern or something like that who went and got named as CIOs in their region, and they wanted to create some demand. That's great. So they go, Dean, hey, we're going to do this. Okay. What are you going to do? We're going to do an email campaign. Okay. And what do you expect? Results. I said, no, 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 no. You're not going to get any results. Forget it. They don't know you from a hole in the wall. They've never heard of you, and they're going to go, what is this? And typically, emails that your clients make are just like this long, and they have like 18 different bullet points, and forget it. It's not going to work. So I said, if you really want to get noticed, let's do something different. And so this was last year near the end of the season finale of Game of Thrones. And we said, hey, you know what? Game of Thrones is hot right now. And it was, I guess, I don't watch the show, but it was highly exciting, I suppose. And so we came up with a concept called Game of Thrones Winter is Here. Sort of combining the idea of the confusion and the chaos of telecom and having all your telecom bits and pieces provided by different providers with the confusion and chaos of the episodes, where the show presented. And we said, hey, you know what? Let's do a physical postcard. Let's create a postcard. Let's offer them a Google Chromecast to watch, the show on the Google Chromecast. And so we sent out handwritten letters about the winter being here, frightening dark times, about communications providers buying for your leadership, refusing to work together, and so on and so forth. You can see the themes and the cross themes between the show and selling SD-WAN technology, for instance. And so I asked the salespeople to handwrite the letters and handwrite the envelopes, and include the envelopes, the postcards in the envelopes, and drive them back to your website, because you want action on your website, because that's where you get more Google juice, we'll call it. And we created a landing page. I've blocked out all the information about the client here, and we said, bring your technology together to fight winter and win a free Chromecast, and watch the show. And so the key here is that when we offered the folks to come back to the site, fill out a form, but we said that we want to know what their top IT initiative is, so that when the salesperson gets the form notification, they can go, oh, hey, Bob, thanks for filling this out. Love to send the Chromecast to you. Oh, and by the way, you mentioned that Office 365 migration is a top requirement. And Bob might say, yeah, it is, but we're not looking into it for 12 months. That's fine. That's fine. That gives you a lead, a relevant sort of a trigger for you to talk to that prospect, and hopefully make a long-term relationship. So how did this campaign do? 232 cold emails and direct mail. So we send emails and direct mail together. So this is the part where I recommend, even if you're doing direct mail or email, do integrated marketing. For instance, if you have Facebook ads going, send Facebook ads to them. So your brand is being touched on many, many platforms, right? Not just the direct, not just the email, but they're seeing your brand and through many channels. So I'm assuming not everybody even bothered to come to the landing page. However, we had 250 views, unique views, blocking out the IPs of the internal employees and such. So they probably shared the postcard. 15 form fills. So back to that 1% conversion rate, a 6.5% conversion rate, which is in my books fantastic. The bounce rate simply means the number of people that bounced out of the site after viewing only one page. So you can see that they came to the site and they actually went in to other pages because they were curious. And typically, as an FYI, your most commonly viewed 2 pages are your home page, About Us page. Boom, yeah, you're on top of it. And so compared to the rest of the site, through our referral traffic, their bounce rates were much, much lower. 8 new leads, 2 new deals. And one of the things that was really cool was that even one of the CIOs that in the end didn't become a customer said to the salesperson that talked to him, said, the only reason why we decided to do this was because it was a really innovative, different campaign that made me go, oh, interesting. So it worked. Anyways, I'll give more examples like this in a bit. I got this email just a couple of weeks ago from a firm called Access Point. I never heard of them, but I think I must have downloaded an ebook of some kind, or perhaps I went to a show to give them a card. And I'm not the relevant target. I'm not reselling services. I'm not reselling, trunking services or whatever it is. I'm not doing any of this reselling. I'm just a marketing agency. But As a CEO, principal of my marketing agency, I get 200 emails a day, and I just click delete, delete, delete. This one made me look. I read through the entire email, and it combined the whole superhero thing, which is going on, the Avengers thing, no copyright infringement because they come up with their own characters. And actually a colleague of mine got the same email, and I said, hey, did you get this? And she goes, yeah, it made me look too. That's all you're trying to do, right? Because let's face it, you're not going to build a relationship in one email or one touch point. And frankly, for instance, I'd rather be talking to each of you individually right now about your marketing issues and marketing needs. This particular communication medium is not really good. Frankly, I have no idea why you're here for. Perhaps, again, you could be the first two reasons you're bored and you're waiting for a colleague. But if you're interested in marketing, I don't know your challenges. I'm just tossing stuff to you right now. And frankly, it's not a really intimate way of getting to know your marketing challenges. And frankly, through email or any sort of channel, you're not going to get that immediately on the first touch point. But what you're trying to get is attention. Just get their attention amongst the deluge of things going on. So that's a key point to take away. Just get their attention and get the right to keep sending them more stuff and building a relationship digitally. Key points: disrupt the flow of your daily flow of your target buyer. Make them look, pique their interest, and run far, far away from marketing jargon. By marketing jargon, I mean saying things like, we provide flexible UCaaS solutions that conform to your business requirements, and we do it with customer, oh my goodness, like please, be more creative, and just run away from jargon as fast as you can. Podcasting. I love podcasting. It's growing as a way to reach clients, reach your prospects. Your listeners tend to be loyal in podcasts. They tend to provide shareable quips. They'll share your podcasts, and you can have that one-to-one touch and connection with the content that you produce. Some really good podcasts that I listen to, and I encourage you guys to start thinking about your own podcast and such, is the Salesforce Quotable podcast. It is designed for B2B sales. It helps me become a better salesperson. I am the principal and owner of the company, but we're a small 14-person shop. I do a lot of sales and stuff, and so it helps me build my own skill set. And of course, another one is the Intellisys Channel Outlaws, run by Brian Leonard, the marketing director, built for you guys, the channel partners. Inspiring story, real channel guys and gals in the channel, real people, real stories of how they built their business up, and it's very, 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 very real. And so how to apply your podcast to your business is to kind of share your expertise. Have a persona, whatever that is. If it's brash or arrogant, whatever it is, have a persona that is your brand. And get good guest speakers. You just can't talk all day. It's tiring and such. So having a good relationship with a number of guest speakers is very, very, very critical. And promote. Now, I know right now all of you have tuned me out so far. You've tuned this part out because you're saying to yourself, I'm way too busy to start podcasting. Forget it, Dean, you're out to lunch, you're smelling glue. And I realized that. But if you had the time to start podcasting, if you're too busy to start podcasting, the next best thing is pitch yourself to podcasts. Share your story. Whatever you do, it'll make your sales presentation better. If you've got a story, then it becomes great publicity. It's shareable. You can turn that interview into digital content. You can put that on your About Us page as third-party validation. You are now an expert in that particular field. Have stories of how you help clients in unique ways. Not just saying, we sat down with them and talked with them, but how did you do it, and why you? What's your story that makes you interesting, and so on. It turns itself into great, usable, reusable marketing content. So identify your podcast, know your values. Here's some links to folks that actually do podcast booking and such. So again, make sure you know your story and have that down packed. Have some war stories that you want to share and get ready to share it. After this, you should all be looking at Brian Leonard's email and phone calling and pitching yourself to Brian Leonard, because he interviews people like you in the channel. doing normal things, but really well. And those stories are fantastic stories. So pitch yourself to Brian, get on his podcast, and then reuse that content, promote that as a way to make yourself as an expert in your field. Creative giveaways. So giveaways have been around forever, and a lot of times they're really boring. Like swag and such and so on and so forth. And the problem with giveaways is that they're often not relevant, and that's the key. So back to Brian's podcast, I was listening to Brian interview a fellow by the name of Jeff Hutzel. I think he's from Florida, and he was talking about how he and some vendor suppliers like AT&T and Verizon were having a seminar on security, cloud security, hot topic these days. And he wanted to get CIOs, local CIOs, to come to his seminar, trying to figure out how to do it. And so, pardon me, he got a whole bunch of these books by Timothy Ferriss, the author of The 4-Hour Workweek. And as high performers, these CIOs are high performers, shared the book to them, or gave it to them, sent the book to the CIOs locally and said, hey, John, CIO, Mary, CIO, you are a high performer. This is what this is a book that perhaps you can use to, help your company transform into the digital age and so on. And so it was a very relevant book that, that connected with the target buyer. And Jeff mentions in the podcast that nearly every one of the people that the books were sent to came to the seminar. So reach out to Jeff. I'm sure he'll give you more insight into how he did it and his thought process. But the key is having relevancy with the giveaway. Here's something next that we're going to be doing with another client. Feel free to steal this. So those of you that sell cloud, private cloud, public cloud, hybrid cloud, I'm sure there's some of you, most of you, many of you in here to do that. We have a client in Southern California, and we said, hey, let's start pushing hybrid cloud. They have a great hybrid cloud setup server. And so we said, well, what are interesting hybrid things? Hybrid car. Well, we're not going to give away a Prius, so that doesn't work. But being from Southern California, we said, hey, sushi burrito. That's a pretty cool hybrid thing, And so the client loved it, and we sort of had fun with the innovative hybrid things. Tasty sushi burrito, flexible hybrid cloud. And so similar to the Game of Thrones, it is going to be a direct mail piece, email piece that connects, or hopefully connects to the CIO. Here's the card that we built so far, the great hybrid innovations, the best of both worlds, with the message being, you've got all this infrastructure on premise, you're thinking of trying to get into the cloud, 2 steps into the cloud, and you can't, so why not get the best of both worlds? Enjoy a sushi burrito lunch for your team, if you're interested in this. Similar to the Game of Thrones things, we're going to drive them to the landing page and ask for their top IT initiatives, whether it's cloud migration, Office 365, whatever it is, so that they may not become it instantly, but you've got a permission and a trigger point to engage a conversation. So sushi burrito, hybrid cloud, we're going to be doing it. It's starting actually, today's Wednesday? Tomorrow is when it kicks off, so feel free to think of something that's hybrid in your neighborhood, something that's really easy to give away, something that's relevant to what the messaging is, and execute your campaign. Skip the junky swag. So I like getting pens because they're useful. But other than that, I'm not really a fan of this kind of stuff. And when our clients go to shows, they say, Dean, hey, because I'm kind of the virtual CMO for many of these clients. Can you order some swag for us? No. I say, no, we're not doing swag. I think it's a waste of money. Don't tell the guys down there in the hall and stuff like that. But I'll just go around and start just. But I think there's no relevancy. You'll walk around and you pick something up. And so perhaps some of you will be involved with your local chamber of commerce, and they may have a get to know our businesses thing, and you're doing this kind of exhibit or a sponsorship of some kind. Skip the swag. Instead, do what we did. We were at Channel Connect in Monterey with Intellisys, and we had a booth. And we bought a drone. We bought a drone, an X-Wing fighter drone, one prize. So put all the resources into one prize. And in order to qualify for the prize, all you had to do was one thing. Give us your card in the fishbowl. Everybody does that. But place a sticker on what marketing initiatives you will start in this was last year, by the way, you will start in 2018. And so some folks just tossed their card in, grabbed the sticker, shoved it in, and then moved on. That's fine, Others, they talked, they kind of hummed and hawed, and it allows you to engage in a conversation, whatever. So in the end, all you want is some context of their business challenges. For us, it's marketing. For you guys, it's digital IT transformation and so on and so forth, cloud transformation and such. So in the end, for us, we got 83 responses. So there's 83 dots on that board there in 9 categories, including none, because we wanted to make sure that, hey, maybe your marketing's perfect. That's great. None's is a fully allowable answer. We got 2 deals out of it and 81 more conversations to follow. So those 81, in fact, even if we got 0 deals out of it, it just means we had 83 meaningful conversations. And that's, for me, more than enough to get out of something like that, right? So be creative with giveaways. Make sure it's relevant to your audience. That's the key with your giveaways, relevancy, and tie back in. And then ask, when you're giving stuff away, I think you have the right to ask for the business problems, right? As salespeople, your job is not to sell stuff. Your job is to help them succeed. As long as you understand that key component, you're going to be successful. And sometimes helping them succeed is giving them free information, sometimes telling them to go to some other provider that you can't help. But if you have that in your spirit, that your job is to help them succeed, then I think you'll do well. I got that tip from a podcast I listened to, by the way. So please help your clients succeed. Lastly, I want to go back to my digital marketing roots and identify Google My Business as something that you should all be doing. So I talked about saturation. Google My Business is new, not new, right? And fairly new. It's early in adoption. It's a Google product. So that should say enough, right? Not everybody has it right now. And as we all know, the irony of the internet and cloud is that although we can do business with anybody, anywhere in the world, right? Most of us, in the end, we still have our patch, right? We're located in Dallas, Texas. We say to ourselves, it'd be great if we can get another dozen or so clients in the Dallas area, for instance, and pick your city, right? As long as your population isn't, population of 25 or whatever it is, you've got businesses in your local neighborhood. You're not going to say no to business from Chicago or wherever it is, of course. But if you can do well in your local neighborhood, that's not bad. That's what I hear anyways from many sales partners, channel partners that I talk to. Google My Business is an evener. It's kind of the game changer. Well, it makes your business stand out locally. So Google prefers to serve up results to your users of results that are local. Right? So if you're competing with another sales partner channel company that's not in your city, and you do a good job of optimizing Google My Business, your results will come up versus somebody else's. Okay? Google prefers local, relevant results to your visitors. And so it gives your business the fighting chance for any local business. And so that is very, very key. How to apply it? This is just a pizza place I found. I don't want to, I just want to get a neutral site. Set up a Google account, search for your business on Google Maps and see if it exists. If it does, claim it. You'll see claim this business. Claim it and then make it yours. If not, create a new listing. Make sure the name, address, and phone match. And so if you see, for instance, in that example here, you have parentheses 732.671.3733. That is the format that Google prefers for a phone number, which is different from 732 dot 671.3733, for example, right? The formatting must match. So whatever the Google formatting is here, make that formatting on your website footer, wherever your address exists, make sure the formatting matches the Google My Business. Pardon me? Don't get cutesy. Don't get cutesy, exactly, yeah. Make sure you've got a category listed, add your keywords, telecom expense management in Sacramento and Roseville and so on, right? And so you can serve your local businesses, add photos, build it up, get reviews for it. Very, very important. Again, as a local business, I know that we can do business anywhere, but at least own your local territory is what I'm saying. Get videos and so on. So use this as a new way to kind of build up your local presence. To conclude, nature of digital, what was new will no longer be. So, all these things, blogging used to be effective, content surplus, Google display ads, no longer number one. Facebook, now it's pay to play. Twitter, Firehose, black hat SEO. Google's always looking at, to get rid of those sort of tactics that are, quote, quote, out of bounds, so to speak, right? So, and there will be new things in digital marketing, whatever new things, and marketers will take advantage of it until a point where it becomes saturated, right? And at a point, then you have to start being more creative. So keep innovating. What was old is new again, meaning direct mail. I suggest integrating your direct mail as a campaign tactic with email, with say Facebook ads or whatever, Google ads, and so on. I love to say when others zig, you should zag, especially in marketing. It's competitive out there, and when things become saturated, get creative. So hopefully you can use some of these examples and be successful in the channel.